Hare Krishna. Today I'm going to narrate the pastime, Sri Mukta Charitram. It's a story of the pearls by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and translated into English by His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj. I offer respects to the son of Nanda, whose pastimes enchant the universe, whose complexion is that of a shining blue lotus, who's as attractive as 10 million cupids. I offer respects to Radha and Krishna, absorbed in being victorious in the pastimes of buying and selling the pearls. I worship the full moon who has arisen in the sky of Shachi's womb in order to offer to the earth the nectar of shining bhakti, Madhurya Rasa, to himself. One day, Satyabhama, who had heard a little of his previous activities, inquired with purpose from Krishna, "O Lord, covered in wealth, where did the sweet creepers, whose fruit are the pearls set in my bracelet, arise?" Remembering that incident, Krishna, internally sad, externally laughed and spoke. "The time has passed where pearls arise from creepers. The cause of pearls is now the oyster." Hearing this remarkable statement, she insistently repeated a question with longing to hear the details. Krishna again spoke. At one time, during Kartika month, at Govardhana and Gokula, there was a great lamp festival. Everyone was completely absorbed in cleaning and preparing the collection of colorful decorations. Having decorated themselves, the cowards were especially intent on decorating the cows and other animals. The coward women, after decorating their houses, were busy in cleaning and making various ornaments to decorate themselves. Radha began making various ornaments out of the finest pearls with all her friends in a cottage of Madhavi creepers, composed of 4 rooms on the bank of the lake called Malyaharana. I heard this from the mouth of a young parrot, appropriately named Vichakshana, the wise one. Going there with joy, eager to decorate my 2 cows named Hamsi and Harini, who were objects of my love, I requested some pearls from the gopis. They glanced at me for a second with contempt out of the corner of their half-closed left eyes, which were comparable to blue lotuses, radiating the fragrance of various types of cleverness. With a smile, I spoke to them as they continued their activities of stringing their necklaces with the greatest absorption, while revealing the great priceless diamond of their smiles, covered by the lack of their determined silence. O women, whose ears are covered by the great mountain of swelling pride, increased from attaining the valuable touchstone of new youth, please lend your ears for a moment only to my request, since I'm your dear friend. As they glanced at each other while smiling slightly, bold Lalita laughed and spoke as if angry. "O Lesha, this multitude of valuable pearls is suitable for a queen. Mahishi, yes, should we not give these beautiful pearls to you just to decorate your female buffaloes, Mahishi?" Hearing her words, I spoke again with equal humor. "O nicely decorated women, if you do not give all the ornaments, then you should at least give enough to decorate the horns of my 2 dear cows." Moving all the pearls around, Lalita again spoke. "Oh Krishna, what can I do? There's not even 1 pearl suitable for your cows." Then I said, "Oh, most clever Lalita, please stop this. You will not be able to call me a miser later on." Scolding her, I quickly went to mother and repeatedly said, "Oh mother, give me some pearls. I'll plant them in the plowed field." Mother then laughed and said, "Oh son, pearls are not sown and grown like plants." Then I said, "Oh mother, you must give me the pearls. In 3 days, they will sprout. This will visibly happen." She could not avoid my insistent demand and gave me many pearls. Making a low field the length of 3 men in a garden on the bank of the Yamuna near Jalaharana Ghatta in Gokula, I planted the pearls while some gopis looked on, laughing. I filled up the holes with earth. I made a thick fence out of sticks. Through a friend, I asked them for some milk for watering the field, so they could not later plead for pearls. They laughed sarcastically and said, "Why should our cow's milk be used for watering the field of pearls? The field should be watered by the milk of your dear cows for whom you made the pearl field. We do not have a desire for the pearls produced from that field." Hearing that, I daily watered the field with lots of milk from my own cows. This was done while showing the fields to the gopis. On the fourth day, the pearls sprouted. Overjoyed on seeing this, I pulled mother by the cloth and showed her the sprouts. Seeing them, mother thought, "What is this?" She went to Vraja with a doubtful mind. Hearing of this, the gopis spoke among themselves with laughter. Only some weeds have grown up. Very quickly, the pearl creepers grew like hemp plants, spreading out everywhere. They began climbing nearby kadamba trees. In a few days, the creepers astonished the gopis by producing flowers which intoxicated the bees with their fragrance. All of Gokula came to examine the creepers. The pearls had more remarkable beauty than pearls arising from 8 sources. The people of Vraja, especially the gopis, were most astonished on seeing these pearls arise from creepers. Coming to see the pearls every day, the gopis became greedy for them and began to discuss among themselves. Oh friends, we very well know that Krishna will not give the pearls to us at all. Let that be. It's not that we have not seen the method by which he cultivated the pearls. Let's not be lazy. Can we not cultivate a field twice as big as his? Hearing this, clever Lalita spoke. O girls inflicted with insanity, making pearls grow from the land of Govardhana and other places is very difficult even for the best of men. What it did with ease was because of the power of mantras and herbs obtained from a great yogi. This can be confirmed by all the people of Vraja. Otherwise, how could this coward who knows only the activities of a coward who appeared in the womb of Nanda's wife like a tender blue lotus in a pond develop power to do this on his own? Knowing this, you desire to undertake this project without using powerful herbs and mantras. As a result, you'll be plunged into an ocean of mockery and great embarrassment. Please understand this. Tungavidya spoke. Why can we not try this after taking an effective mantra from Nandimukhi, the student of effective mantras, which she obtained from the lotus feet of Paurnamasi? Everyone said, Tungavidya speaks wisely. They then went to Nandimukhi and politely revealed their desires. Nandimukhi said to herself, by great fortune, the seed of the desired tree of playful pastimes of buying and selling, which I've desired for a long time, a great opportunity has suddenly arrived to satisfy my 2 eyes. Since the gopis are the height of cleverness, I will use skillful logic to accomplish this so that the mature tree will quickly bear fruit. Thinking in this way with internal bliss, Nandimukhi then spoke. Oh friends, this is not the result of Krishna's mantras. The pearls were produced in the earth. Everyone said, it's impossible that pearls can come from the earth. Since you also know that pearls come from oysters only, why do you say something else? Nandimukhi said, it's because of the natural power of this land. Paurnamasi has repeatedly said that the forests and lands of Raja give rise to various jewels. This has been perceived to be true also, since it's clearly seen that golden trees with fruits made of rubies, many diamond and pearl buds, emerald bark, and coral leaves have appeared in the past and are appearing at present. What is so astonishing if you plant pearls and they produce pearl fruits as a result? Therefore, you should cultivate pearls carefully while watering them with the most fragrant butter. As a result, you will obtain the most excellent pearls, better than Krishna's. Hearing her sweet words, all the gopis, believing her, embraced her with satisfaction while praising her. They returned home and, with desire to defeat me, made fields in various places by engaging workers, paying them double or triple the normal wages in milk. They planted pearls yet unstrung, which were in a box, and pearls which had already been strung, and as well of the ornaments they were wearing. And as well took off the ornaments they were wearing, leaving only a few. 3 times a day, they began watering the fields with milk, yogurt, butter, and fragrant ghee. Hearing that they were cultivating pearls, Chandravali and others, all other gopis, out of envy and greed, began cultivating bigger fields in various places and planted all their pearls, not leaving any even on their bodies or in their houses. Some days later, seeing sprouts of weeds in their fields, all these gopis who were full of pride ridiculed my friends because of the fraud. Then the cowards noticed that all their homes were without pearls and that there was much less milk. With anger, they asked the reason. Hearing the cowards, the elder gopis said, O long-living men, you should not criticize this. This has been done by the young gopis. For making fields of pearls, they have used up many pearls and lots of milk. But soon there will be abundant gain, since we have seen the pearls of Krishna's field, rare even for queens. One day, Vishaka, inspecting the sprouts in their fields, spoke in the ear of some gopis in private. Oh friends, I do not see sprouts similar to those in Krishna's field. I do not know what will happen next. Slyly, we must hide them in order to prevent Krishna's friends from seeing them. After some days, all of Gokula knew that weeds had grown in the gopis' fields when they saw thorn bushes in Radha's and other gopis' fields. Hearing this through friends, I announced derisively in the gopis' assembly, I've heard that in your fields many pearl fruits have grown. I'm a great friend. You should give the first pearl fruits to me, your friend. The gopis said, if we are taken to plowing fields, all of the village would be full of pearls. Giving up our occupation of protecting the cows like him, who would take shelter of a leprous occupation like him? On hearing this, with ornaments and garlands made of pearls, I decorated all my friends, the cows with the calves, the buffaloes, oxen pulling the carts, and the goats with their young, which dwelled in Vrindavana. The gopis began discussing what to do out of shame and out of fear of the coward men, because they had lost so much wealth and even their own ornaments. We have unfortunately been cheated by deceptive Nandi Mukhi, who is siding with Krishna. Going to her house in anger, they scolded her heavily while relating what had happened. Nandi Mukhi then spoke, oh, I swear on my austerities that I have not cheated you. Everything has been destroyed by you alone. The gopis said, oh, deceptive Nandi Mukhi, how did this happen? Nandi Mukhi said, you openly planted the pearls in the fields with loud announcements as if beating drums so that Krishna and his friends could clearly hear, and not even one guard protected the fields. They said, why did nothing come up from doing that? Nandi Mukhi spoke with anger. Hear what happened. You think you're clever? Making Madhumangala greedy by giving him sweet rice, your lesser guru of rascals, in order to defeat you, had that greedy buffoon gather up with great effort all the pearls which had just sprouted and had him plant lots of weeds in the place. Some of the pearls were carefully planted in his field. The rest were taken and thrown in the depth of the Yamuna. I know this for certain. Hearing this, the gopis said, O great director of despicable dealings, you have revealed yourself to be a dancer in a drama of crookedness. O guru of the buffoon Madhumangala, you are his co-conspirator. O most suitable woman to dance with the cunning dancer of Braja, O dearest dancer of Krishna, O renunciate woman of Kali Yuga, stop speaking. Here, I would like to say, Nandi Mukhi is a sister of Madhumangal. They are the children of Sandipun Rishi. Scolding her in this way with frowns, they returned home and then again began to reflect upon the matter. Among them, Radha spoke, oh friends, maybe Nandi Mukhi tricked us, or maybe the rascal did it. What do we gain from desiring this? Another problem you're not considering at this time. Fear of our elders gives us pain. If we show them the pearls, their anger will subside. Such pearls are very rare here. We could, however, get some from Krishna for a fair price. We should think of a method of doing this. They all thought about this and then said, Chandramukhi is clever. She can take some money and go to him. Paying a proper price, let her bring the pearls here. Chandramukhi then spoke, I cannot go alone since we have scolded him. Kanchanlata should go with me. With everyone's permission, the two took a lot of money and went to the pearl garden. They spoke to Subala, the superintendent of the garden, who was sitting with me. Oh, Subala, we have heard that you're selling the newly grown pearls. Take these pure gold coins and for a proper price, give us the best pearl fruits. Smiling, I said, recently, though I requested countless times, you did not give even one pearl to me. You did not even give a pot of milk for watering my field. I would rather throw the pearls in the Yamuna. I will not give even the worst pearl, even if you offer all the wells in your houses. Kanchanlata then spoke. If the gopis were not afraid of their husbands and elders because of the pearls, how could they tolerate your harsh words? In any case, what should be done? Mathura has many jewels available in the market, but that's far away. At this time, Subala, you should be the negotiator. We will pay more than the rate elsewhere. Hearing that they would pay more, I began to laugh. Let it be. I cannot be hard with you as you've been with me, since my nature is very soft. And if I do not give the pearls, what will I do with them? Will you two determine the price of the pearls for all those who want pearls? The two said, yes, then. I said, what are the details of this transaction? Chandramukhi then laughed slightly and glanced at Kanchanlata. Kanchanlata then spoke to Subala with shyness. Oh, my friend Subala, being the negotiator, by resolving this issue, you will receive your well-deserved fame. Subala said, oh, my friend Krishna, secretive Kanchanlata is not revealing how much more they're willing to pay. Why don't you just clearly state how much you want them to pay? I then spoke, oh, my friend Subala, I understand Chandramukhi's intentions. Kanchanlata, golden creeper, has been sent by Radha as they think she's priceless and is to be given to me in order to receive. It's well known in the world that the price of pearl fruits is greater than piles of gold. Therefore, how can they make a sufficient price by offering just one golden creeper? If Chandramukhi says that there are many Chintamani gems in the golden caskets on Kanchanlata's chest, it will not be sufficient, since one of my pearl fruits is millions of times more valuable than the Kaustubha on Vishnu's throat. Hearing this, Kanchanlata, glaring at me with a frown, spoke in anger. Oh, foolish Chandramukhi, I've just told you that I will not go near that rascal, but you insisted on bringing me, and now I'm insulted by him. You should get the pearls and return. I'm going from here right now. Chandramukhi said, oh, Kanchanlata, you're correct, but how can I negotiate the price alone? How can I remain here alone? Those who are assigned to work together should accomplish the task together or abandon it together. I will also leave. Seeing them about to leave, I said, oh, Subala, just now I told you that these two could not negotiate the price. Hearing this, Subala approached the two and said, my friend Chandramukhi, my friend is very eager to settle on a price. Therefore, our dear friend Radha, along with Lalita and others, should personally come and, giving a fair price, should take the pearls they want. As the negotiator, I can assist. Hearing this, Chandramukhi and Kanchanlata returned to the gopis and angrily told them what happened. Then Radha, with Lalita and others, went to the pearl garden and had Chandramukhi call Subala. She said to him, oh, my friend Subala, you have unlimited affection for us. You should act so that we can obtain the pearl fruits at the correct price. Hearing this, Subala informed me and on my order brought Lalita and others. But Radha said to him, do not tell your dear friend who harasses me that I've come. She hid herself and listened to all the transactions from within a bower of Kadamba trees near me. Krishna jokingly teases the gopis and says he would like to have amorous affairs with them in return for the pearls. The gopis want Krishna to give them the pearls on a loan so that they can pay him later with interest, but Krishna does not agree to this. Krishna continued to speak. Just then, Malli and Bringi brought 2 letters and presented them. This caused everyone to begin speaking. Lalita, full of joy, gave one of the letters to Subala. I said, oh, Lalita, who wrote this letter? Lalita, smiling, said, softly reading it, Nandimukhi said, oh, Subala, speak clearly. Subala, smiling, said, oh, friend, listen to this remarkable letter. I said, oh, friend, please speak. I'm also very eager to hear it. Subala said, greetings. This letter of Radha from Yavata village is a golden casket covering the sweet cake full of syllables of nectar and love, directed to the most respected Priyanarma Sakha, Honorable Subala, endowed continually with all good qualities which are completely suitable for all metaphors uttered by everyone present. May the continual presence of all auspiciousness concerning the lotus feet of your intimate friend and persons like you continue forever. Please attend to another duty also. Extorting taxes from dear friends is not correct. Though he has taken away abundant taxes in the form of goods, till now we have said nothing about it. I have not obtained a moment's peace because of the agitated elder's intense scolding from the loss of the pearls. I have a request to make. without us considering his bad conduct, your dear friend, who now makes a living from farming by cultivating pearls in a field near the Yamuna in the district of Vrindavana, ruled by me, should make a written agreement with Lalita, bring the suitable tax money here immediately and give it, so that by that money we can take pearls from Mathura and give them to our elders. In this way, we will deliver ourselves from the ocean of suffering. Or if you're unable to give the amount because of the excessive taxes on expensive land used for cultivating pearls, after meeting in a group of 5 to decide the amount, pearls can be given in lieu of money to Lalita. What more to say to the most intelligent gentleman? Is your highness well? They said by auspicious meditation on the feet of the Lord. Glancing towards the bower, I said, where is she? They said, she's in Yavata village. I said, what is she doing there? They said, anxious for love in the kingdom of Vrindavana. She's looking at the path by which Lalita and others will come. I said, oh, my friend Subala, Lalita's had someone write this letter and deliver it. Subala said, no, it is in Radha's own handwriting. I said, oh, friend, show it to me. Taking it from his hand, I looked at the letter and became astonished. I said to myself, the lines of letters shine like strokes of nectar for my eyes. They make my hair stand on end as a Vyabhichari Bhava. Then, sensing a trick, audibly I laughed. Suddenly, the devious gopis have raised this most amazing topic like a flower from the sky. Flower from the sky means something imaginary. It's not real. Madhumangala said, oh friend, ill-mannered Lalita is a great dancer, the acharya of bold performances and dancing dramas with horrid, crooked deception, and is non-different from Radha. Defeat her by a false play on words. As long as one enemy remains, how can you be happy? Remembering this, immediately drive this group of devious girls who desire the kingdom of our Vrindavana from Vrindavana. Enjoying juicy sweet fruits in the thornless kingdom, I can live and dance happily. I said, oh Lalita, this is our Vrindavana. How did it become the property of your friend? Lalita said, oh supreme deceiver, by displaying her coronation as queen of the land, can you hide it? I said, oh Lalita, let's not speak of directly seeing it. I do not even remember hearing of it. Vishaka said, oh Lalita, is not completely at fault. His awareness has disappeared because of the intense darkness arising from transgressing the dharma of hundreds of coward girls. His associates are the same. Thus his 2 friends are without memory also. How can they remember again? Compassionately revive their consciousness by having remember. At that moment, Vrinda arrived to give joy to everyone. Lalita embraced her and with a smile said, oh Vrinda, you have come at the right time. You should describe the arena of the great festival. Vrinda spoke with joy and humility. Oh, my friend Lalita, I've come to drink the sweet juice of that great festival flowering from your lotus mouth. You should describe it. Lalita spoke with joy. Everyone listened with attention. In the spring on the full moon during Vishaka constellation, on the order of Lord Brahma heard in the sky and by the dream of Gopish, in Vrindavana, the Kinnaris and Gandharvis sang in joy, attracted by the uproar of flutes, tambourines, and various drums, along with Manasa, Ganga, and Yamuna, as well as Savitri, Samnya, Ekanamsha, and other Devis. Apsaras and Vidyadharis danced, and Shachi and other women showered Parijata flowers while shouting Jaya Jaya. Vishaka and other Sakis sprinkled here and there various fragrant flowers, sandalwood paste, delightful kunkuma, pleasing musk, and fresh camphor powder, bound with mixtures of colorful cloth, with attractive singing preceding them. Heavenly women uttered hundreds of blessings. Joyful Paurnamasi bathed our dear friend Radha, who was seated on a ruby throne on a golden dais, using 108 golden pots filled with scented water, various fragrant flowers, sandalwood, camphor, aguru, and brilliant kunkuma offered by the Sakis. She performed the bath using gems by holding up a sahasradhara filled with water and precious various attractive jewels, accompanied by shouts of Jaya Jaya. Vrinda said, then what happened? Lalita said, I then wiped her gently with a fine cloth, dressed her in bright red cloth, and covered her top portion with a blue cloth, performed with ketaki flowers. I had her sit on a golden throne in another place and braided her beautiful hair, more exquisite than a bunch of peacock feathers, intertwining it with various flowers, new gunja berries and attractive pearls and other gems with a flower cluster at the tip. She was decorated with various garlands, ornaments, and cosmetics supplied by her associates busily engaged in their services. Without completing the description, Lalita experienced Divya Moha mixed with trembling, hair standing on end, and breaking of the voice because of a bliss on remembering the event. Vishaka supported her from behind with attention and revived her chanting sweetly in her ear, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna. Lalita, after a moment's silence, composed herself and continued to speak. Seeing Lalita faint, Radha said, Ah, oh my dear friend Lalita, the lamp of my life in the night with unconquerable character. What misfortune! You have left me without hope. O Lord, affectionate to your devotees, O Lord of light, save me, save me. O ocean of nectar in Gokula, where the mango creeper of nectar named Lalita, who gives life to the group of cuckoos, who give life to me by touching her with your hand of nectar. Arranging the payment, make me your servant. Weeping, Radha quickly went to embrace Lalita, but she was then tightly embraced by her assistant, the Satvika Bhava of intense, continuous paralysis filled with rasa. Seeing this in fright, Ranganavali and Tulasi approached Radha with trembling hearts. Ranganavali supported her with her left arm and with her right arm, softly wiped her body. Tulasi, with choked voice and tears, exclaimed, save her, and fanned her with soft, fresh tamala buds. She came to consciousness in joy, and in joy saw that Lalita had recovered. Lalita said, with all the assembly decorated with ornaments of Satvika Bhavas arising from bliss, Paurnamasi seated Radha on a throne of colorful gems. She applied tilaka, making her the queen of the kingdom of Vrindavana, using musk taken from the perfume mark on the bosom of the dark god called Love, brother of Ekanamsha, while conches, bells, and drums resounded. Hearing this, everyone loudly laughed in bliss. Covering my Satvika Bhavas, which arose from bliss on hearing this, I laughed a little and said, Oh Lalita, why do I not see this? By this does the kingdom belong to you? By this description, by your own words, you have concluded that the kingdom is mine as well as is yours. Nandimukhi said, how is that? I said, because she was made queen by Paurnamasi by the suggestion of me, king of Vrindavana. Vishaka laughed and said, you speak nonsense. The queen of Indra, Purandara, is Shachi. She's famous and lives in Swarga. My friend lives on earth. She's human and is the wife of fortunate Abhimanyu. I said, oh, Vishaka, you think you are the best of arguers, but you're dull-headed. Have you forgotten the volumes of scripture dealing with sense perception, which you studied in detail? Vishaka said, what did I forget? I said, please listen. If your companion is not my beloved, then why did Paurnamasi anoint her with tilak of musk taken from the mark on my chest? Why did she decorate Radha's throat with my necklace and Vaijayanti garland? Lalita said, oh, fake king, holding a bow made from a rabbit's horn. She was decorated by Paurnamasi with Mahaprasada garlands and musk of the dark goddess called Kamakhya, the elder sister of Ekanamsha, who lives in the Vindhya mountains. She lives in Kamaripura. She's the wife of Shiva and gives various benedictions, including wealth. She's praised even by Brahma and has great glories, praised by Gandharvas and Vidyadharas. Her lotus feet are marked with the most auspicious signs. What is your relation to her? Tungavidya said, my friend Lalita, you have nicely said that he is the king of liars or a false Indra. Vishaka said, how is that? Tungavidya said, please listen. In the district of Mathura, begging brahmanas or musicians in order to obtain 25 coins can become puffed up with titles like Deva and Maharaja and assume positions as low village leaders. Similarly, a farmer's son of unclear birth attaining false praise through false, impossible titles like King of Vrindavana, given by buffoons and hired praisers who cannot reach Indra's throne in order to obtain one pot of butter, manifests himself as king of heaven by his contemptuous acts, thinking himself a king. Hiding a smile, Tungavidya said, he sat comfortably on a huge throne made of various gems, bright pearls and gold arising from the jambu fruits at Pavana Sarovara. He wore an excellent crown on his attractive head, covered with profuse sky flowers, pursued by swarms of buzzing red bees, maddened by the heavy scent. Subala joyfully held an excellent umbrella made of hard tortoise shell over his head, with sprinkled drops of fragrant nectar. On his sides, Ujjwala and Chatura blissfully fanned him with 2 chamras made of body hairs, which grew from soft hands. He was bathed in streams of sweet milk from bulls with names like Padmagandha to make him king of Vrindavana by groups of great pure men born from high-class barren women. In his left hand, he held a bow made from rabbit's horn. Waves of his glory spread throughout the universe. To me, it's a great offense that you do not respect him as Indra directly, though you know this. When everyone looked at my bashful, smiling face with smiles and squinting eyes, and then looked at each other, Chitra said with a laugh, "Oh, you. Oh, why do you two laugh at him? Truly, he's the king of the Devatas." Tungavidya said, "Oh, Chitra, if that is so, why did he come here?" Chitra said, "Please listen." Confirming that he was enjoying with other women, his angry wife rebuked him with a kick. Out of remorse, he gave up his house filled with the highest happiness and came to this forest. Taking the form of an attractive covered boy, by his atonements, he became the farmer of the queen of Vrindavana. He happily passes his time here. Not making him the object of laughter, we should show this Vaishya great guest affection. Everyone smiled on hearing this. Nandimukhi said with a laugh, "Oh, my friend Chitra, you have explained about the son of Nanda who always plays in Vraja. There seems to be some deeper meaning to the words. Give us pleasure by explaining this." Smiling, Chitra remained silent. Vrinda then spoke joyfully. "Nandimukhi, listen carefully as I explain the deep meaning of a most clever words." Nandimukhi said, "How did he become king of the Devatas?" Vrinda said, "The word Deva means those who play and amuse themselves. They have an inclination to various attractive and astonishing amusements. Also, Deva means those who shine excellently. They possess sweet dreams of astonishing beauty and charm with waves of the most brilliant light. The king of such persons who has these qualities to greater degree is called king of the Devas. He exceeds the others in excellence." Nandimukhi said with a smile, "That's a correct explanation of the meaning. But what's the meaning of Para Ramani Ratha, engaged in enjoying other women?" Vrinda said, "Para means other or opponent. It also means most excellent. Para Ramani means the most excellent woman, Radha. Para Ramani Ratha means the person extremely attached to the most excellent woman, he who gives enjoyment to her with the most astonishment." Champaklata said, smiling, "Oh, Vrinda, explain the word Devi." Vrinda said, "Another text concerning worship of Chandika says, a person who's not a Deva cannot worship a Deva. Or Devi refers to the wife of the Deva, or it refers to a person who's not like a Deva, just as the word auspicious can be used to refer to an inauspicious situation." Nandimukhi said, "Who is this person?" Vishaka said, "This should refer to Chandravali." Vrinda smiled by remaining silent. Vrinda smiled by remaining silent. Everyone smiled. Nandimukhi said, "By the audacious act of kicking him, she clearly showed her low character. But why mention Parama Sukhada Tan Nija Bhavan? That his house was filled with the highest happiness." Vrinda said, "It was completely without happiness, Param Asukudham, since it was devoid of humming bees and thick growth of flowers. or it destroyed Dharayati, the highest happiness. He gives up the house of this woman who lives near Sakisthali. Nandimukhi said, "Ah, you really know the secret meaning of words. Your explanation has been skillful. Please reveal the deep meaning of the words like Navina Gopatva, which are hard for us to understand." Vrinda said, "Is the attractive covered Gopatva decorated with fresh gunja berries and forest ornaments, peacock feathers, mountain minerals, flute, horn, stick, and ropes for tying the cows." The word Navina means that he is ever fresh. Purasharana Samvidhanam means he wanders about Charana, performing various pastimes like an impassioned king of elephants at the base, Pura, of a flowering bakula tree, buzzing with bees. Vidhanam arrangement means drinking sweet, highly intoxicating wine in the form of glancing from the corner of his fickle lotus eyes mixed with the fresh camphor of his smile, while embracing golden Utica trees and placing his hands on bulky, bumpy pomegranate fruit, while biting new Ashoka sprouts and kissing play lotuses. He becomes the attractor of the woman who plays in the royal city of Vrindavana and experiences sweet bliss in plucking jasmine, bakula, champaka, madhavi, and golden Utica flowers. He makes her insane and attracts her to his side. Sukhena Samayam Gamayan means he bestows Gamayan, the ultimate auspicious Lakshmi, with incomparable sweetness of pastimes, with the highest bliss, Sukhena, arising from tasting the praiseworthy sweetest rasa in the natural eternal spring season at all times, Samayam. He's continuously absorbed in inconceivable sweet pastimes with her. I said, "Oh Vrinda, who gives inner bliss to Vishaka, you're my guardian for the garden of Vrindavana. Why do you mingle with these women?" Madhumangala said, "Dear friend, she takes care of the garden, but has given up taking care of the garden to eat rice mixed with salty yogurt. She now works as the gopis' guardian in their houses. Will she not speak?" Vrinda said, "Oh tarnished Brahmana, envious boy, the land was joyous when the shower from the clouds made your friend speak like a frog. You strike fear in everyone when they hear your sharp words." Mali and Bringi said, "Oh Lalita, you've forgotten that there's another letter written by our mistress." Lalita said, "Let it be remembered." Mali and Bringi said, "Whoever opposed paying the prescribed tax by arguing illogically should be tied up and quickly sent here." Lalita said, "Yes, Madhumangala is opposed to giving the tax. Tie him up firmly with a rope of creepers and bring him to our mild dear friend, and she can quickly give him to Jatila and Abhimanyu so that the lion of Yava village can obtain the tax by beating him." Madhumangala said as if afraid, "Oh friend, I have some private affair in my house. I'm going to attend to that." I said, "What a Brahmana. Why do you fear the noisy words of children?" Madhumangala said, "Oh great hero, I've experienced your great prowess when you were the collector of the toll gate at Govardhana. On that day, I was bound up with my own upper cloth on the instructions of Radha in order to obtain taxes. Seeing me carried off, you stood there surprised. Using my prowess as a Brahmana, by good fortune, I somehow escaped." Saying this, he pretended to have fear. As he fled, I took his hand and brought him back. I said, "Oh Lalita, why should I pay tax to such a soft child? Instead, by force, please pay up my taxes in full." Hearing this, Radha slightly glanced at me with the corner of her eye and smiled. Nandimukhi said, "Oh Chitra, what was your intention in speaking about the guest of these gardens?" Lalita said, "Oh Nandimukhi, you know. Why do you ask? Having left Mahavana, where he always lives, he came here only 6 or 7 years ago." Nandimukhi said, "Why did he leave his dear birthplace?" Radha said softly, "At that place, he could not act freely, since that village is almost a city because of the great population. He could not fulfill his desires for performing various wicked acts arising from repeated practice of uncouth actions, like obstructing young girls, breaking pots, and stealing butter. In the great, dense, lonely forest of Vrindavana, he has developed even stronger desire to plunder freely the young girls' houses and bodies and make teeth marks on their lips." When Lalita repeated this aloud, Nandimukhi with a smile said with meaning, "Oh Lalita, now we do not see such behavior." Radha said softly, That is true. Having given up thievery and other sinful acts arising from criminal intelligence, arising from giving up his dharma and taking opposite training, because of atonements prescribed by Lalita Charya, he performs his dharma of agriculture, which is the occupation of the gopis, with an understanding of repentance. He produces abundant grains, gives them to the gopis, and takes a portion for himself. This way, he gives bliss to the gopis and himself. He seems most virtuous. Vishaka repeated this aloud with a smile. Hearing this, everyone broke out in loud, joyous laughter. I said with false hatred, "Oh, my friend Subala, you can understand that these deceptive gopis are taking away my authority over the kingdom of Vrindavana by hiding behind joking words." Subala said, "Not only have they taken away your authority, but they made you a farmer." Vrinda said, "Oh, Subala, you're well read and wise and very dear to the couple. Though they are most affectionate to each other, they're quarreling over rights to Vrindavana. Why don't you, along with Nandi Mukhi, settle the dispute by using the required logic?" I and Lalita agreed. Subala then said, "Oh, friend, first Lalita should tell why they have rights to the kingdom. Next, you can inform us why you have rights to the kingdom." I said, "Oh, Subala, associated out of ignorance with these divine girls of Vraja and developed bad qualities. By atonement, I became purified. How can I again talk to them?" Vrinda said, "Oh, most pure one, though these girls have developed contamination just by a whiff of your words, they have become purified by repeatedly bathing in the great Tirtha called Shamala Vishama Shara Sarovara, according to the many rules laid down by the Empress of Vrindavana. They've come to you in this pure condition. There's no fault if two parties who have performed abundant atonements speak to each other. Oh, Lalita, now you should speak." Lalita said, "First, what to speak of ruling Vrindavana? The Laya has no relationship at all with Vrindavana." Nandimukhi said, "How is that?" Lalita said, "His ancestors have already lived in Mahavana, his paternal kingdom." Nandimukhi said, "What is the proof of this?" Lalita said, "The words of the best sages like Vyasa who spoke Bhagavatam." Subala said, "Oh, Lalita, I should speak truthfully as the moderator. Seeing your face, I cannot tell a lie. Do you have rights to Vrindavana simply because his kingdom is Mahavana? If so, there must be some strong proof. Please speak." Lalita said, "There are many statements in the Puranas, both direct and indirect. Since direct statements or direct perceptions are the stronger of the two, we should accept the direct perceptions only." Nandimukhi said, "What is the direct proof?" Lalita said, "What should I say? You're aware of it also." Nandimukhi said, "I do not remember. Please tell us." Lalita said, "Did not the bath using jewels when Radha sat on the throne while the wives of Brahma, Savitri and others celebrated loudly with drums and music give the highest bliss to the inhabitants of the three worlds?" Subala said, "Oh, Lalita, if you describe something untrue, my dear friend is present to use you to his advantage." Lalita said, "Oh, Subala, if your dear friend, the two-legged coward, speaks the truth, then he has said that the feet of she who was bathed on the throne in the kingdom of Vrindavana are his very life. Why does he now make effort to receive a king of mantras in order to attain service to her feet? Has he forgotten all this?" Nandimukhi smiled and said, "Oh, Lalita, can what this lusty playboy prince who feasts on Cupid's sweets utters be taken as proof? If there is another strong proof, please show that." Vrinda said, "Taking the side of the insane prince, you too, Subala and Nandimukhi, destroy whatever proof she gives." Nandimukhi said, "Oh, Vrinda, you should say something." Vrinda said, "This Vrindavana is eternally described as the dear friend of Radha. She gave the place extraordinary spiritual form, non-different from her by her prema." Nandimukhi said, "Please describe this similar form which Vrindavana manifests." Vrinda said, "Please listen. In the city of cowards, the grooves of golden yuti flowers, which defeat clusters of lightning, and the grooves of champaka creepers, diffusing fragrance and brilliance, attained a form similar to the supreme form of Radha's body. The clusters of attractive raised lotuses are the very form of her face. All the softly waving fresh lotuses and the play of the prancing does are the form of her eyes. The clusters of excellent shining banduka flowers and the clusters of bright bimba fruits are the virtue of her shining lips flowing with nectar. Her arms are the creepers with graceful movements. A radiant nose, friend of the sesame flower, is the beak of the parrot. A smile is the host of fully blossoming lotuses. A shining teeth are the buds of kunda flowers, which blind the bees by the fragrance. A brows are the restricted, fine lines of bees wandering in graceful curves. A forehead is the most beautiful baka flower, radiating auspiciousness. A braid is a group of raised tail feathers of excited peacocks. A ear, stealing the effulgence of the curved bowstring of Cupid, or the totality of munja grass. A rising breast or the bilva, tala, and pomegranate fruits. The surface of a gleaming chest or the many golden thrones in the forest. A hips with jingling bells or the great expanses of Govardhana decorated with the sound of the flute. Are excellent thighs capable of competing with Cupid, or elegantly shining banana trunks, or feet or groups of land lotuses, a gait which is a Shiksha Guru for the gait of elephants, continually intoxicated is the charm of the graceful movements of flocks of swans, or lines of lac or hundreds of shining jumbo fruits. Her charming speech is the sweet sound of young cuckoos in spring. The dancing of the edge of her eye appearing on a pleased face is the Kanjana birds dancing over blossoming lotuses. A flood of tears mixed with collyrium arising from intense prema is the Yamuna. A pure heart is eternally the water of Manasa Ganga. The flow of a profuse perspiration is the multitude of various ponds. The intense manifestation of a great raga is a family of tasty, attractive gunja berries. The fragrance of a body which makes the noses of co-wives feel remorse and sometimes drives the noses of our friends mad is the excellent delight of pollen within the lotuses which appear all over Vraja. The beauty of a body which is made of the beauty of lightning, a small fraction of whose pride subdues the pride of all the rays from Sumeru, is the gleaming area of land, the golden groups of houses, as well as the mountains with caves and bowers. A beautiful navel is the lakes, and the line of hair rising from her navel is Kalia, friend of the snakes, belonging to Krishna with his trembling body. A generosity and other qualities are the jeweled objects emanating from the desired trees. A hair standing on end are the many stamens of the Kadamba. Radha's beauty in every limb, praised by Parvati, Rati, and Lakshmi, is all the moving and non-moving objects of Raja, which will later become liberated and which are always praised profusely by all the righteous people in the three worlds. This forest, whose one creeper from a tree gives immense expanding happiness, surpassing the spiritual sky, immersed in Vishnu's bliss, is the dear friend of Radha, whose great fame is continually increasing in the universe. I said with some pride, I've been installed according to rules for appointing me as a conquering prince in the kingdom of Nanda. I protect my forest on the pretext of herding cows. How does this land become yours through some talk of identity of Radha with the land, some talk of identity of Radha with the land? Hearing this, Vrinda said, the person who develops friendship to another becomes identical in form to that person, or the object of the friendship becomes identical to the person offering friendship. If the forest did not develop identity with us, then the forest would not be ours and would belong to someone else. Why do you not quickly go to Lakshmi and become identical to her? Hearing this, Madhumangala laughed loudly and said, Oh Vrinda, you are lying, giving up your status as a goddess out of greed for some milk. You have become a praiser. By false glorification, how can you deliver a Vrindavana to your friend? Nandimukhi said, O Lalita, except for statements from ancient wise sages, no one will be defeated. Show some statements from the Puranas. Lalita said, if you take his side and speak like this, then go to Paurnamasi and hear plenty of statements from the Puranas. Subala said, you should cite the statements. Lalita said, since we are women and cowards, we have no qualification for reciting the Puranas. Subala said, Vrinda is a goddess. Let her recite them to us. Vrinda, as if recalling something, said, there are many statements in the scriptures. A few can be recited. In other places, other goddesses preside. Having stated this, the scripture says that Radha presides in Vrindavana. This statement from a Purana defeats all other statements. Who has not heard this from Paurnamasi? Seeing the gopis happy with the pretense of victory, Madhumangala said proudly, O Nandimukhi, in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad above all Puranas, it is said that Brahma and others continually glorify our friend as the king of the city of Vrindavana. which is known as Krishnavana. Who does not know this? Smriti is annulled by Shruti. Thus, it is proved that this is our kingdom. O Subala, drive these women who covet others' kingdoms from the earth. I then said, oh, my friend, you're affectionate to me, a dear friend. I hugged him in bliss. Nandimukhi, as if confused, looked towards the bower where Radha was staying and then looked at Lalita's face. Radha, smiling, said to Nandimukhi softly, by hearing the word Krishna, not knowing the meaning, this great prophet has offered another's kingdom to himself. This untrustworthy person of crooked intelligence, like a Kimshuka, is this a parrot flower? Kimshuka flower reminds us of a parrot drinking or kissing with its beak. Lalita conveyed her words with irony. I reflected on her intention. She will interpret the word Krishnavana in another way. Nandimukhi then surprised me and spoke to me. You would desire victory. I desire to announce something if it pleases you. I said, please speak. Nandimukhi said, Lalita desires to receive the kingdom by defeating you with logic, by analyzing the compound Krishnavana. I said, she's the acharya of making decorations using various flowers, sandalwood, and writing. She knows that since I'm always decorated with forest flowers by her, how can she be the acharya of grammar? Vrinda, smiling, said, oh, you who think you know grammar more than you, our dear friend Lalita is known as the acharya of grammar. Lalita said, wicked Vrinda, go away. Vrinda said, taking shelter of you, I'm quarreling with him. Why do you scold me? Lalita said, oh, tiger acharya of compound words, why do you uselessly attempt to grab this Krishnavanam, which is the playground of my dear friend, by showing something frightening through your meaning of the compound? You will retreat far away automatically when you understand that the phrase is obviously a Bahu Vriha Karmadharya compound, adjective compound, or knower of compounds. Why do you desire to take another's kingdom by foolish trickery through interpreting the word Krishnavanam as a Tat Purusha compound, Krishna's forest? The phrase reveals a Bahuvrihi Karmadharya compound. I said, you think you're intelligent? Since clearly it's a Tat Purusha compound, how can it be a Bahuvrihi? Well, let the fool be. Please explain it. We are listening. Radha said softly, it's clearly a Karmadharya meaning, dark forest, a forest which is dark because the forest spreads darkness. Indulekha said, oh, Lalita, that is true. Bahuvrihi means many grains. Or Vrindavana is the place where there are pearls as grains, since they have sprouted from the fields there. It is clearly a Bahuvrihi describing the eternal forest in which there are many grains. While they laughed with pride, I said, oh, Lalita, empress of women who constructs various lies, how can you escape the main Tatpurusha meaning by imagined meanings of Karmadharya and Bahuvrihi? Lalita said, oh, great scholar, you loudly proclaim Tatpurusha. There are many varieties of Tatpurushas. Please clearly explain which one it is. I said, oh, foolish, intelligent woman, Krishnavanam means the forest of Krishna. That Sashti Tatpurusha, possessive case, is famous in the three worlds. Radha said, if it means Krishna's forest, it means the banyan grove at Sakistali, Chandravali's place belonging to you, the tiger among men. For Shashti Tatpurusha remains there at all times. There's no possibility that it's a possessive compound. Lalita conveyed this to others with a laugh. Nandimukhi said, oh, Lalita, it seems that your words have deep meaning. Please explain the meaning. Lalita, hiding a smile, giving me a garland of blue lotuses by the glance of her eyes, said, oh, Nandimukhi, Shashti is a certain woman. A husband Purusha is called Sashti Tat Purusha. Vishaka said with a smile, oh, Lalita, we know that Purusha. Who is the woman? Lalita said, it is Chandravali. Vishaka said, why is Chandravali called Sashti? Lalita said, among the persons to be worshipped, the first person is a coward of Kamsa, Govardhana Malla, who is Mahabhairava. The second is mother, Bharunda, is Chandi. Third, Chandravali's mother is Charchika with a huge gaping mouth. Fourth, Shaibya is Kali. Fifth, Padma is the famous Shankini. Sixth, Chandravali, resident of Sakistali banyan tree, is Sashti. She's suitable to be called Sashti because Shashti resides in a banyan forest. When they all burst out in loud laughter, I thought to myself, These girls of Raja have the highest intelligence. Even I am made speechless by their proud display of words. Then aloud, with some regret, I said, O Nandimukhi, though I am the most exalted prince, controlling all the kingdom of Raja, because they prosper with soft cloth, delight and enjoyment given by me, decorated with ornaments inlaid with diamonds, emeralds, rubies, coral and pearls, these wives of us farmers have disregarded and abandoned their elders out of pride in their great wealth and fresh youth. Have been endlessly insulted by the excessive racket of their proud words as they glance wantonly with the edges of their eyes. Looking at the face of Nandimukhi, the chief follower of Paurnamasi, and fearing defamation, since we live in one village, I do not mind the harassment done by these hostile forces up till now, though it's made me suffer. Now, do not find fault with me. Being destitute of a wealth of words, I now commence to plunder the wealth of rare, fresh youth, never seen before by their superiors, marked with the sign of the second pink moon, enclosed in 2 fancy gold caskets, surrounded by the soft blue cloth on your chest, using the warriors of my very sharp nails, and as well I will loot the great ruby covering your incomparable teeth, using the unrestrained generals in the form of my teeth. When I boldly advanced to grab them, they glanced at me with smiles and dancing variegated crooked brows and moved away. Lalita said in anger, "Ah, you who are absorbed in tasting Madhurya Rasa, go away, go away. We will go and describe your insane boldness to Yashoda." Satyabhama said in astonishment while laughing, "Oh, playful Krishna, I desire to ask one question." Krishna said, "My dear, please tell me." Satyabhama said, "How could Lalita and others repeat what Radha said to herself in the bower?" Krishna said, "Oh beloved, since Lalita and others are the expanded bodies of Radha, why could they not understand?" Satyabhama said, "Oh auspicious Lord, how did the joking of Radha in the bower spread to your mind?" Madhumangala said with choked voice, "Oh dear friend Satyabhama, Radha and Krishna are an intimate combination, like sweetness to musk. Or fragrance to a bud. Why would her joking not reach him?" Krishna became completely agitated with sharp pains arising from the intensely acrid poison of separation from Radha, increased by hearing the sweetness of Madhumangala's words. He was filled internally with increasing pain from a hot iron arrow broken in half, which penetrated deep into the center of his palpitating heart. At that time, being attentive to him, his friends named intense paralysis, shivering, and other of the 8 sattvika bhavas, along with dear assistants in the form of unprecedented immobility and bewilderment, fainting, spreading through his body, began to embrace him tightly and simultaneously assumed intense boldness by saying jokingly, I am first, in order to compete and defeat each other in a playful manner. Then the Pranapriya Narmasakha, endowed with a full garden of plentiful fragrant flowers of incomparable cleverness, skill and knowledge of time, who was an auspicious form of a collection of jewels such as Chintamani, endowed with many inconceivable powerful Shaktis like Leela Shakti, the form of complete surrender to Krishna, which controlled all his dear associates and friends, like a great medicine of inconceivable greatness and a faultless intimate friend, who was the special inconceivable transformation of Prema, then scolded those friends with a frown, with eyes rolling to forbid them. Oh, you who think you are the crest jewels of cleverness, you have found the opportunity to cavort to the extreme. Then they withdrew. Oh, we have acted wrongly. They bit their tongues and shrinking, quietly withdrew far behind him. The external symptoms subsided, but his heart was still trembling violently. Krishna, Lord of the Yadavas, uttered to himself, O excellent, unsurpassable river with streams of sweetness which reveal prema, O pinnacle where the dove of my life lives, O storehouse of jokes, riddles, arts, and qualities, ah, mother of the moonlight, which nourishes the chakora bird of my eyes, O Radhika, having attained you like a jewel after much difficulty, have you fallen from my hand? Satyabhama said, O king of the Yadavas, by sipping the sweet honey of the pastimes of Gokula from your lotus mouth, my thirst has increased to the extreme. Please let me drink again. Krishna said, please listen, my beloved. Madhumangala then said, My friend Lalita, as minister of my dear friend, I cannot disobey his orders. Give me some extraordinary bribe. I will assist you in getting the proper price for the pearls. Vishaka said, respected sir, there's nothing here. In the evening, we can give you 4 cowries for some intoxicants. Madhumangala said angrily, oh, foul-mouthed coward woman, stop, stop, I'll make you atone for that. He then spoke to me, dear friend, their pride just increases like fire by the streams of liquid ghee of your gentle words. They scold you and will try to tie me up and take me away. I said, dear friends, that is true. Without conquest of the kingdom, the place is not congenial to live in. The head of the group must be defeated. Then her followers will be silent. Saying this, I glanced at the bower where Radha was hiding. I said with regret, what should I do? Out of fear, she will not approach me. Radha, after looking up, quickly crouched and hid within the bower. Satyabhama said, then what happened? Krishna said, oh Nandimukhi, please understand that the wealth of Radha's beauty is of more value than the treasure of youth of Lalita and others. Smiling slightly, Radha spoke softly to Nandimukhi, oh fickle brahmacharini, go away, go away. Vishaka said, the greedy parrot eager to eat, who usually eats only bimba fruits, is unable to fly away, is now thinking of eating rare sweet grapes. Madhumangala said, my dear friend, give me my desired reward, and certainly right now I will pull Radha, who desires your kingdom, in your hand. I said, in the evening, I'll feed you sweets. Madhumangala said, calling to the kingdom of Mathura, I will bring 100 horses and they will bind Abhimanyu's elbows behind his back with leather ropes and flog him with whips. He will then bring her to you. Everyone smiled. Lalita said, oh, Vishaka, I will now reveal something which is aimed at good fortune. Please listen. Vishaka said, please speak. Looking towards the Kadamba tree, Lalita said, oh, best of ascetics traveling in Vrindavana, you are known for eating only fruits. Why do you pollute yourself by harboring the desire for the great wealth of the heart of the chaste girl, most difficult to obtain and unsuitable for you, transgressing your own rules? Vishaka said, oh, Lalita, desiring to eat, the ascetic did not obtain fruit. Therefore, he is trying for something unsuitable. You should show him where to obtain the best fruit. By that, you increase your dharma. Lalita said with a smile privately, oh, Vishaka, does he know about Manasa Ganga? Vishaka said, since he is inclined to wander everywhere, why would he not know about the famous place? Lalita said, on its northwest bank, there is an amazing lotus creeper moving about. At the creeper's central part are 2 long, attractive tumbi fruits. Above that of 2 full, sweet bimba fruits. Vishaka said, oh, master of the senses, quickly go there and relieve yourself of greed for the wealth of a chaste girl by enjoying the incomparable fruit suitable for you. You will become most happy by preserving your dharma. When everyone laughed, I said, oh, Lalita, the ascetic who vows to eat only a handful without begging cannot eat the forbidden tumbi fruit. Hearing this, Radha said softly, the lusty joker is a cheater. I fear that detecting my hiding place here by his quick wit, he will use his clever words to torment me. I will go further within the bower to hide myself. As she thought thus, I again said, oh, my dear friend Lalita, I, the wanderer in Vrindavana, the great enjoyer, make you the queen of the defeated group leader. I desire to see the dancing of Vishaka and others sitting on my throne with you. Give the order and have them dance. Lalita said angrily, oh, Nandimukhi, the joker has brought us back here to pay a wealth of jokes. Instead of giving the tax to us for our fields in which he planted his pearls, give up the joking. With Subala, he can write the correct amount he vows and then give the tax for the use of the fields. Then bidding us farewell, go home quickly. Nandimukhi said, what tax did you agree on? Please tell us. Lalita said, the tax should be more on a grain field than the tax for a field of Shamaka. The tax on the cotton field is more. The tax on land with buildings is more. The tax on fields of priceless pearls is 1,000,000 times more. Subala should measure the extent of the astounding field of pearls using an astonishing measuring stick prescribed for measuring the kingdom of Vrindavana as mentioned in scriptures. Write that down and tell us. Nandimukhi said, how long should the measuring stick be? Lalita said, who will believe what I say? Vrinda, who protects the fields and is knowledgeable of all scriptures, should say this. Nandimukhi said, yes, Vrinda, since you're neutral, make a stick for measuring pearl fields and give it to us. Vrinda said, land with buildings, grains, grass, cotton, and pearls are measured using respectively the thumb and then the other fingers. It's also said that since pearl fields have immense value, they are measured with the ring finger as the measuring stick. Lalita said, since priceless grains are harvested from a field which has been plowed, the little finger is used as measurement. Nandimukhi said, oh Lalita, if that is correct, looking at Krishna's face and seeing me, the servant of Paurnamasi, establish the ring finger only. Lalita said, oh Vrinda, you are expert in writing and measuring. Taking everyone, let's go to the field with the consent of Nandimukhi and Subala. Nandimukhi said, defeated leader, I have one request. Lalita said, please speak. If it's reasonable, it shall be done. Nandimukhi said, this person has given up his land and come here. He is a new guest and has taken shelter of the queen of Vrindavana. With great labor, he has plowed the unkempt land and increased our wealth considerably. If you measure the land, because you must pay for food and condiments, the profit will be much less. If he measures the field, his cultivation will be disturbed. Thus, give up measuring the field and taking your share, give him a fair portion. You will increase his enthusiasm considerably. Vrinda said, how much is his portion? Nandimukhi said, do you know, the most excellent field's result is divided into 2 equal portions. Coming from another village, he's cultivated the field with that understanding. Ranganamala said softly, he's not a farmer from another village. He now lives in this forest and farms for the queen of Vrindavana. He should take only 1/6 of the total. Why should he take an equal share? Vishaka said, oh fool, since the written order of the queen has come to take the tax after measuring our land, why should we act independently? Looking at the faces of Lalita and Vishaka and glancing at Nandimukhi, Vrinda showed her earring to her. Smiling, Nandimukhi moved away slightly, and with Vrinda understanding the hint given by the two by a gesture, which indicated talk of giving bribes, she approached me. She said softly, O enchanter, Lalita and Vishaka, or the chief ministers of the Queen of Vrindavana, please give them some priceless bribe. Then they'll fulfill your wish immediately. I said in bliss, my friend Nandimukhi, bring these two to a private bhava without anyone knowing so that I can please them with their desired bribe. Nandimukhi said, oh beautiful Krishna, the other gopis are non-different from the two of them. Without reserve, give the bribe in public right here. I said, without attaining my desired object, why should I give anything? If you do not trust me, I will keep my bribe with you. Nandimukhi, shaking her head, said, no, no. I said, if brahmacharinis become contaminated by touching material objects, then I will offer it to Rangana Malika, the best of chaste women whom I trust. Nandimukhi said, King of enjoyers, first say how much is to be given. We will decide if that is acceptable to Lalita and Vishaka. I said, let that be. Please listen. Giving up protecting the forest on my behalf, this Vrinda has followed Radha, my queen, out of greed for wealth. Though I am king of the forest, first by giving a bribe, I will bring this mercantile person Vrinda under my control. Nandimukhi said, that's fine. I said, with my hand, I'll decorate Lalita with the king of half moon, faultless pendants, which was placed on the sky of my chest by Radha, the topmost woman, the archery of supreme ornamentation, agitated by deep anuraga. I will give to Lalita Radha's great Chumbaka gem, most adored by Radha, more valuable than all my other gems. It is the concentrated essence arising from the churning of the ocean of astonishing rasa, and was exchanged at the base of the king of Bakula trees by Radha for my unequal Chumbaka gem, its brother, which shining brighter than the Kaustubha during unrestrained, amusing exchange of affection. Looking at Vishaka's face again and again, I said with a smile, I will satisfy and decorate Vishaka, the constellation in the sky of my heart, with a colorful garland of marks, which Radha offered to me with great skill in the yard of a bower at Radha Kunda, after making it with her 2 hands because of continual anuraga. Hearing this, Radha said mentally, O king of flying, stop, stop. She mentally struck me with a play lotus. Lalita said, you have become mad because of drinking the snake poison from the lips of Padma. Go away, go away. Vishaka said, oh, best of justice, Madhumangala, is your friend your guru, or are you his guru? Everyone wants to know. Lalita said, oh, Vishaka, please listen. The dancer called Kusma Shara, flower arrow Cupid, in the drama of deceit, as a jester called Shuchi, love was famous. This jester has made this rascal his disciple by his mercy. Madhumangala is the disciple of the Acharya of justice called Bhojana Lampata, lusty eater, in a different sampradaya. Vishaka said, "Oh, Lalita, I want to feed sweets to this Brahmana." Lalita said, "He's a great Brahmana, teacher of rituals, well versed in the Vedas. How can he eat food cooked by cowards, not Brahmanas? How can he eat food cooked by cowards, not Brahmanas?" Vishaka said, "Malli and Bringi, the highest twice born or with the most beautiful teeth can purify it with their hands so that the food can be eaten by him with great respect. This is how it should be done." Hearing this, Madhumangala, as if trembling in anger, said, "Shameful speaker, proud coward women, eating the burned wheat chapatis of your half-rotten words, smeared with bitter salt of insane jokes, painful to hear. My sweet ears have become completely bitter. What to speak of my mouth? I will never touch the earth near the shadow of your clownish coward women. Tomorrow I will go to the wives of the Brahmanas of my caste. After they wash my feet with great reverence and dress me in a silk shawl, I will be fed drinks scented with camphor, sweet rice, aromatic rice served with the best ghee, surrounded by various vegetables, accompanied by sea salt, ginger and lemon slices, sugarcane juice, shashkuli, kundalalika, laddus, condensed milk, grapes, yogurt mixed with sugar candy, various deep fried balls, and black pepper. After napping under a tree on the path, I will return home and sleep till late afternoon." Hearing this, when the laughter dissipated, I said, "Oh, Nandi Mukhi, small villagers seek justice by using the legal system in order to determine the boundaries of their village. Kings, however, obtain their land by the strength of their arms. What is the use of this legal system for determining this kingdom? They should fight with me. Whoever gains victory will clearly gain the kingdom." Saying this, I advanced a little for that purpose with pride. They fled here and there in fear and contempt. Nandimukhi said, "Oh hero, it's very improper of you to violate these coward women born from pure families. Stay in the distance," she said, and then spoke to Lalita. "Oh Lalita, now the hero of the forest has great strength in this lonely forest. You have tender Shirisha flower bodies. Seeing the place, time, and strength, give up quarreling." Chandramukhi said, "Oh innocent girls, Nandimukhi speaks correctly. You should listen to her. We are young with tender bodies. Is a fickle male alone in the forest. Seeing the queen, he becomes agitated with fear. But your queen is not close now. The husbands like ugly-faced Abhimanyu are far away, unaware of this situation. While we quarrel among ourselves in this fearsome forest, some wicked thieves may come, steal all the pearls, and go away. We will incur a great loss. There's little loss for him, only a sixth. If it pleases everyone, we should give up talk of the kingdom now, take the pearls at a higher, fair price, and return to our homes, protecting ourselves from being defamed seriously by the touch of that thief." Hearing about this later, the queen of Vrindavana, after quickly satisfying the elders by giving the pearls, will come here personally at great speed in great anger. Situating herself at a distance with feigned pride, she will engage in battle with him. She will make war using generals, terrifying Abhimanyu and beautiful Cupid, having frowning brows for bows, with a harsh reservoir of rough arrows fired by the indications from the edges of her fickle eyes. Though thinking himself a hero in that forest, he will suddenly tremble in fear, crying out, "Aha!" Taking from his neck his attractive necklace made of pleasing, beautiful Chintamani gems and inlaid with various rubies. He will gift it to her and surrender to her lotus feet. He will turn his peacock feather ornament red from the liquefied ruby lac from her feet, made of a mercy, since her heart will melt like butter at that time because of a small number of burning rays from his choked voice. Offering her the kingdom and all the pearls, he will serve her. Smiling in bliss, I glanced at Radha's bower. Nandimukhi said with smile, "O hero of Gokula, your skill in battle becomes most glorious in fighting with the queen of Vrindavana. Kingdom." Hearing these meaningful words, Madhumangala said, "The proud gopis have been defeated." Making sounds like a drum with his left fist, he danced in bliss. Brinda said, "Best of dancers, Madhumangala, in the presence of a queen, you will learn a lesson and shout, 'Oh no,' for a pleasure." Assuming the form of a bee, flying here and there, dancing and keeping time with a louder beat, You will leave our place and arrive at a thicket in Nandishwara with your two-footed coward. Seeing that, our eyes would expand in pleasure. I laughed and said, "Oh Nandimukhi, this Chandramukhi engaged in consolation unlike Lalita, I will give her pearls for free. Since she is the most knowledgeable of mantras and purest, she should go to a solitary place and having me bathe should teach me many mantras declared by the Acharya Cupid so that I, the coward, can attain beauty greater than a Devata." I said, "Oh Kanchanlata, seeing your cleverness, the bee of my mind is very attracted to you. If you place the very beautiful single-stranded necklace, which I greatly covet, that is situated on your neck upon my chest with affection while others watch, I'll give you the pearls you desire without a price. I'll give you my 3 attractive jewel necklaces which embrace me and then decorate places from your navel to your neck." I moved towards her. She glanced at me obliquely and saying, drew away, rather smiled, but worrying about herself, became confused. Vishaka, snapping a forefinger, faced Nandimukhi and indicated Rangana Mallika and Tulasi with a glance. Nandimukhi laughed and said, "Oh, bewildered, Rangana Mallika and Tulasi, dedicated to the lotus feet of Radha and dearest to her, cannot remain without her for a moment. Decide the price of their pearls and quickly send them off to her." With internal bliss, I smiled and said, "Oh, Nandimukhi, I have been agitated by drinking the fragrant honey of Tulasi's unique, fresh speech mixed with a particle of camphor of her smile and a particle of pepper of her unique fecal glance. Rangana Malika, agitated with great affection for me, should establish herself on my chest." When everyone laughed with bowed heads, the two withdrew behind Vishaka. Nandimukhi said, "You are addicted to selling pearls. Why do you not think of deciding the price of the pearls of the leader of our group and Vishaka?" I said, "If the leader comes to me and bargains herself, I will decide. Without seeing her, how can I decide?" Nandimukhi said, "Oh, hero, say the price so that by hearing that she can gather the correct amount." I said, "Hear the small price that I declare for Radha and Vishaka, who are one entity and extremely dear to me. May the 2 expert dancers in the form of their sweet moon-like faces, together or separately, dance softly with enthusiasm on the arena of my cheek and increase my abundant bliss with mutual joyful glances of abundant, incomparable, pure prema. As I seek out the sweetness of pastimes in a forest perfumed with fragrant flowers, while my 2 broad arms, eager for pastimes, rest on the delicate, bowed shoulders of Radha and Vishaka, with the golden creepers of their tender right and left arms on my beautiful tamala tree back. In the yard of the house is the bower, on the bank of Radha Kunda, on a spotless golden dais, at the foot of an attractive bakula tree, streaming with honey from the countless fragrant flowers, buzzing with wandering bees, on a soft, excellent bed made of delicate jasmine petals, placing my left elbow on a moon-shaped pillow made of golden Utica flowers, I sit comfortably with my 2 knees bent. Vishaka is the abode and shelter for the bee of my mind. Radha, the Sharika bird in the cage of my life is, should scent my body, mind, and words filled with astonishment, with the strong fragrance of strong, unequal mutual friendship. Radha and Vishaka simultaneously felt shame while affectionately glancing at each other with 4 eyes, with air standing at my end. Nandimukhi said, "My friend Vishaka, why are you so distressed and pained by the playful words of this deceitful person who likes joking? Wait a moment. Without doubt, soon I will arrange that you receive the pearls." Vishaka said, "Oh Lalita, Nandimukhi, using false words about giving pearls, had simply fooled us, keeping us here at this meeting in this solitary forest in order to see the justice of that actor called possessor of impossible desires in a lusty play, along with his two lusty actors. This chaste woman of good family, who is amused in this arena, sits there looking at the dancing of the actors skillful in the 64 arts. Let her glorify the two sides of her family with this auspicious act. I'm going home." Speaking to Vishaka, she made a return and approaching me, Nandimukhi said, "Mischievous prince of the cowards, because of hearing your inappropriate jokes, Vishaka and others continually harass me. Now you should put aside the compendium of jokes and pulling out the compendium on buying and selling, give the pearls for a price, and quickly delight the army of Radha whom you love." I said, "Oh Nandimukhi, though Radha is always hard on me, since I have natural affection, my mind on just hearing her name immediately seeks out everything about her. Why should I be harsh with her followers? After the price is decided within 2 days for whatever wealth, gold, ornaments, silver, butter, and dear cows is brought and kept with me, they may take the appropriate amount of pearls." After saying this, I thought for a moment silently and then said aloud, "Oh Nandimukhi, since I wander from forest to forest to engage in my cherished pastimes of herding cows, where will I keep all this wealth? I do not see a trustworthy person who can keep the wealth for me. If I keep possessions belonging to others' wives, I have great fear of defamation and embarrassment, but in truth, I cannot give the pearls without the above mentioned price." Nandimukhi said, "Oh, bewildered, such an unprecedented prize has never been seen or heard of at any place." I said, "Oh, clever Nandimukhi, have you ever seen or heard of such astonishing pearls arising from the earth anywhere? The price of such astonishing goods is also astonishing. I'm not a pearl merchant, but I've started this endeavor on the order of Paurnamasi and on my insistence and on your insistence. Therefore, if they desire, we can mutually decide on the price, and giving that amount, the intelligent gopis can take the pearls. If not, they may go home. Look, it's almost noon. I must go to Govardhana to herd the cows." Nandimukhi, with apparent regret, approached Lalita and said softly, "Oh, my friend Lalita, my friend Vishaka, all dear friends, without giving the desired price, the bold lecturer will not give the pearls. I've concluded this by the trouble is causing. We must get the pearls. Therefore, I suggest that satisfying him by just agreeing to his price, while using some trickery, we should take the pearls and go home. Then you may decide on a price and give something." Lalita scolded Nandimukhi, "Oh, amazing renunciate. Stop, stop." Smiling, she said to me, "Oh, compliant prince, the field of Vrindavana is extraordinary. The seeds are extraordinary. The pearls are extraordinary. The merchant selling the pearls is extraordinary. The price is extraordinary, but we are not extraordinary. How can we pay the extraordinary price? But this Nandimukhi is affectionate to us and non-different from us. You are an extraordinary brahmachari. She is an extraordinary brahmacharini. By the strength of her extraordinary austerity, she'll satisfy you by giving an extraordinary price agreeable to you and take the pearls. But we are going home." Saying this with a mixture of love and hatred, showing various ecstatic symptoms, they looked at me from moment to moment from the edges of their smiling eyes while tilting their heads. Putting in front Radha, who also displayed various ecstatic symptoms, they went to a bower of attractive bakula trees on the bank of Radha Kunda. Then in complete bliss, thinking and thinking, after making ornaments by my own hand for all of Radha's limbs with amazing artistic skill, using piles of the best pearls, I placed them in a golden box and marked it with her name. Making ornaments for Lalita, Vishaka, and others, I placed them in separate boxes and wrote their names on the boxes. I took the unstrung, excellent pearls, and with Nandimukhi, using the assistance of Madhumangala, Subala, and the recent arrivals, Ujjwala, Vasanta, and Kokila, placed them in a pavilion in a bower at Radha Kunda. Radha, along with the smiling friends Lalita and Vishaka, received these boxes with joy and smiles. Madhumangala was satisfied with a great quantity of delightful cooked rice and betel as a sign of respect. Subala and others were satisfied with scents, sandalwood, and betel as a sign of affection. I became blissful by gifts of a garland of fragrant, young pink, golden Utica flowers made by Radha, as well as camphor-scented betel presented by her. Affectionately wearing the garland and chewing the betel, I went along with my friends to herd the cows at Govardhana. Opening the golden box, Lalita blissfully dressed Radha with the ornaments. Then Lalita, Vishaka, and other friends dressed each other with the ornaments from the other boxes. They went home and satisfied the elders and husbands sufficiently by giving great quantities of astonishing pearls. They then went to Radha Kunda and amused themselves with talks about my sweet jokes. Satyabhama said, "Oh, cuckoo, mad with enjoying the pastimes of Gokula, then what happened?" Krishna said, "Oh, beloved, you have heard what should be heard. That's enough." He became extremely unsteady because of confusion arising from the manifestation of the sweet confidential pastimes. She is a garland of shining gems and gold on my neck. She's two glittering gold earrings on my ears. She's the shining unguent of scented kunkuma on my body. When will I see the Supreme Radha by some inestimable good fortune? Remaining silent for a moment, he again spoke with eagerness. She's a garland of champaka flowers on my chest. She's a sprinkling of nectar on my lotus eyes. She's my one Lakshmi with shining limbs. She's the creeper for the excellent bird of my life air. She's my cherished wealth. She's my life-sustaining medicine. When will I attain her again? Oh, lamenting in this way, he began weeping. He fell to the ground, agitated by remembering the pastime. He cried loudly and embraced Madhumangala. He then said, "Oh friend, dear to my life, oh Radha, you are my life-sustaining medicine." Trembling with choked voice, he lamented. He embraced Satyabhama and breathed out hair loudly again and again. Satyabhama, with tears and hair standing on end while fanning him reverentially with the edges of a cloth, remained silent. Hearing this story from the mouth of Samanjasa, the student of Paurnamasi named Lakshmana, with hair standing on end, said with curiosity and pain, Hearing the story from the mouth of Samanjasa, the student of Paurnamasi named Lakshmana, with hair standing on end, said with curiosity and pain, "Oh, my friend Samanjasa, what happened next?" Samanjasa said at first. Satyabhama remained silent in great respect. Then she said, "Oh Lord of my life, oh sole life of all Braja, victory, victory, remain steady, please recover, please recover." Speaking with pain and worry, she constantly fanned him and wiped his sweet limbs gently, requesting that he return to Gokula. Gradually, by these means, she brought the Lord of her life to consciousness. Disregarding her own infinite oceans of sweet happiness and the infinite series of her life airs, regarding them like grass, Satyabhama had made her only goal Krishna's lotus feet. Desiring to give the supreme object of her life a small speck of happiness, she had a friend bring the chief minister Uddhava. They decided to make a most auspicious journey to Gokula, bearing the most auspicious gifts a few days later on Thursday, during the waxing moon, the 10th day, with the moon in Dhanishta constellation, during an auspicious yoga, during the hour of Abhijit noon, possessing various good qualities to avoid all obstacles. Though Balarama also wanted to go to Gokula, he stayed to protect Dwaraka by their polite insistence. Placing Paurnamasi in front with Uddhava, Queen Rohini and Madhumangala, the prince of Raja departed quickly from Dwaraka at that time and arrived at the outskirts of Gokula on his chariot Nandi Gosha. They all agreed that they would make an auspicious entrance into Raja. They were shining with decorations befitting cowards, their preferred identity for which they were anxious, which gave them joy. Filled with the essence of bliss, Lakshmana, a queen of Dwaraka, in the category of Satyabhama, a bud from crest jewel of auspiciousness, sipped with the cups of her years the intense sweetness of the sweet news of their entry into Gokula. Lakshmana, shining with hundreds of thousands of good qualities, said with eagerness, Oh, my friend Samanjasa, from hearing this story filled with Madhurya Rasa, I've developed intense longing. I desire to go to that covered village with Krishna and perfume myself with the fragrance of the flower of friendship with Radha. Samanjasa said, you will certainly attain this. Putting grass between my teeth, I beg again and again that I will attain the dust from the lotus feet of Sri Rupa birth after birth. By the nectar of his order, by my intelligence has been awakened. I've arranged this bunch of flowers composed of the story of the pearls, following the teachings of Sri Rupa, Jiva, who is the life of my body, whose eyes are like bees, uses his intelligence to find the nectar of the pastimes. May he make this work superior by smelling it. A pearl necklace has been amazingly strung from a flood of flowers in the form of the story of the pearls. Out of affection for me, may the followers of Rupa quickly decorate the years with it. Life after life, may I have the association of Krishna, Das Kaviraja in Braja. It is by the strength of his association that I have made the story of the pearls. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everybody, for patiently listening to this Pearl pastime. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.